What is up, you guys? My name is RVZ and welcome back to Heart of the Woods. Wait, what? Okay, alright, we arrived. Is that... this looks like a fine-ass town, if you ask me. Heart of the Woods. Okay. We arrived, I think. We step off the train and into another world. Oh wow, a frigid wind saps the heat from my body almost immediately, as if it had been waiting until we arrived to peel us out of our own skin. Felt like it was burning. I instinctively wrapped my arms around myself to try to preserve what little body heat I have left, but it doesn't change a thing. I might as well not even be wearing a coat, for all the good mine does. As nice as it is to have the moon, keeping things from being completely pitch black, I could really go for some cloud cover right about now. Anything to keep us warm around us. Of course, Tara doesn't even seem to notice. If anything, this place is having the opposite effect on her. Well, she doesn't look cold at all. What the fuck? It's like she's completely forgotten the uncomfortable energy that had filled the train. Back to her usual overly excited self. I can't help feeling jealous. I figured that the low light would keep her from breaking out the camera right away, but she's snapping away without a care. You know, none of us are actually going to be visible, right? She ignores me. I should probably just let her enjoy the moment. This place really does feel super eerie. I really think this could be the place where we finally get some real hard evidence. While her words are ambitious as ever, I can't help noticing that they seem to have significantly less fire behind them. I'm not even sure if she knows she's doing it, but I can tell that her enthusiasm is forced. When she speaks again, her voice is worryingly quiet. I can't imagine a better send-off. Oh. I want to try and deflect somehow, to set her back on her path. She deserves to enjoy this moment without me spoiling it. Who knows? Maybe this will be the one that finally gets you a con panel so that you don't have to crash someone else's. That was one time, and I think I did a pretty good job up there. Her voice seems to have regained some of that boundless energy. Either she's bounced back well, or she's gotten better at hiding how she's feeling. I really hope it's the former. She returns to her camera, and I give myself a moment to try to take in my surroundings. Okay. Using the flashlight on my phone, I try to figure out what it is about the darkness that has her so excited. Seeing nothing but the light reflecting off the snow puts me a little more at ease. She's probably just being Tara. Supernatural or not, there's something oddly serene about this place. That said, I'd like it a lot more if it wasn't so damn cold. I can't wait to see the village tomorrow. I bet it's going to be like one of those animatronic museum exhibits. It's not like they don't have any connection to the outside world. Apart from the architectural style, I can't imagine that it will be different from home. If you're expecting people to be walking around in top hats and waistcoats, I'm pretty sure you're going to be disappointed. And here I thought I'd finally get the chance to show off how amazing I'd look in a top hat. I'm sure you'd be the thin heartthrob of the Victorian era. She gives me a brief snort of amusement before picking up her camera again. Her response still feels more muted than usual, but the fact that she's still able to banter is a good sign. I'm glad that I still know how to cheer her up, even if I was the cause of her low mood in the first place. However, after a moment, she looks back at me. Her expression is serious for once. Okay, so, about Morgan. Like I said before, let's give her a chance to get all the excitement out of the way first. We should be nice and friendly, but let's try to keep it professional. I never thought I'd hear you, of all people, say that. I find myself flashing back to all various situations I've had to extricate Tara from, ranging from bad one-night stands to actual police custody. Whoa, okay. Tara is a badass, apparently. There are a lot of ways I could describe Tara, but professional is definitely not one of them. She can barely keep up her serious demeanor for a few moments before she's back to her usual self. She can play it cool all she wants, but I can tell from the way she's bouncing up and down that she's undeniably excited for this fun-girling she mentioned. I'm sure a little ego boost will go a long way right about now. I can feel myself hopping back and forth slightly as well, but that's more out of a desire to keep my blood flowing. In the end, I couldn't say no to one final expedition with her, but I really wish she had picked somewhere at least somewhat hospitable. Thankfully, it isn't too long before I can see the silhouette of someone approaching throughout the storm. Hey, I think it's her. Brace yourself. Given that we are the only people out here, I certainly hope that's her. Morgana herself is coming into view now. She's not exactly an imposing figure, but she moves with purpose, like a woman on a mission. She's carrying a large thermos, which she raises in greeting as she approaches. Okay. One of the first things I notice about her is that for some ungodly reason, she's not wearing a coat. All she's got on to protect her from the frigid weather is what looks like a hand-knit sweater. I'm sure to a casual observer, I would seem like the one who's actually from around here. However, she doesn't so much as shiver. In fact, she doesn't do much of anything. On approach, she greets us with nothing more than a tired smile and a small nod. Not exactly the geeking out Tara was expecting? I can't even speak, what the fuck? Hey there, you two, sorry, I'm late. Her voice is friendly, but flat. She doesn't sound irritated or anything, just tired. I can't say I blame her. Tara, however, looks a little bit taken aback. Recovering quickly, she puts on her big celebrity grin. Oh, no worries. We're looking for Morgan. Is she you? Or with you? No, that's me, actually. It's pretty nice to meet you, Tara. Morgan's smile does seem to grow warmer as she greets her, but her face quickly regains a neutral expression a moment later. I can see Tara's smile faltering as she realizes this is clearly the maximum amount of geeking out this girl is capable of, at least for now. To her credit, she recovers well. Likewise, charmed, I'm sure. Okay. Maybe not that well. Tara extends her hand and Morgan gives her a brief handshake before turning to me. You're Madison, right? I think we spoke already. Just Maddie is fine. Nice to meet you. She shakes my hand as well. It's a firm, friendly handshake that ends as quickly as it began. Before she continues, she takes another sip from her thermos. I have to stop myself from asking for some as well. Not even Tara would be that harsh. It really is nice to meet the two of you. I'm sure you had a lot of invitations, so I'm glad you settled on mine. Are you kidding? Remote village in the middle of the huge forest? There's no way I'd pass that up. I've heard all kinds of stories about the kinds of things people see in the woods like this. Hopefully not too many, or I won't have any of my own to offer you. Oh, I'm sure you got something to offer for us. Real smooth, Tara. So much for being professional. I can see Morgan's mouth twitching slightly at the comment. I can only hope it was something closer to a smile than a grimace. At the very least, I can show you around the village. There isn't too much out of the ordinary there, but I'm sure you can find a few things that interest you. That would be wonderful. I'm sure we'll enjoy a bit of sightseeing during the few moments when Tara isn't off chasing spirits around the woods. Morgan lets out a small chuckle before almost instantly regaining her composure. Tara flashes me a look of mock annoyance for the slight. However, I'm pretty sure I can detect a little bit of real annoyance with the fact that I've gotten more of a reaction out of Morgan than she has. It's about a half-hour's carriage ride to the cabin, if you guys want to head out. Do you need help with your bags at all? Tara deftly lifts her bags, giving Morgan another shiny grin. I'm pretty sure I see her accidentally flex her arms too. Well, she's fucking strong. Tara's fucking strong. Don't even worry about it. I got this. Okay. Okay, it's cool this way. As we follow her, I can see Tara pointing behind her. I've never seen the wind get taken out of her sails like that. I chuckle a bit despite myself. At least that gives her another thing to think about that isn't my departure. Wait a second. Did she say carriage? No. Wait. What? We're standing in front of a honest-to-God horse-drawn carriage. If it weren't for the little white puffs of breath coming from the horses' noses, I'd be willing to believe that it was some sort of commemorative statue. This is so cool! Is it yours? It belongs to my family. Given that there aren't any roads through the woods, there isn't really a point to anyone out here owning a car. I move closer, examining the craftsmanship as best as I can in the moonlight. The design is fairly bare bones, but a few flourishes here and there, and some semi-ornate painted finishes make it clear that this was something built with love and care. Suddenly, I realize that I'm not hearing any exclamations of excitement from Tara. I figured she'd be touching every square inch of this thing. Tara, come take a look at this. As I speak, I look back and see her standing completely still, as if the cold has her rooted to the spot. What the fuck? What's wrong, Tara? What? Give me a sec. I'm just taking in the view a bit. She's trying to act nonchalant, but her wide eyes keep flicking towards the horses. Her previous genuine grin had turned into a very nervous grimace. Slowly inching forward, she scoots further away from the horses as she approaches the carriage. I doubt she planned for part of her first impression to be Morgan learning that she's absolutely terrified of horses. She had better at least learn to tolerate them, or this is going to be an even longer trip than I expected. Wait, if this is the only way through the woods, how are we going to get back and forth between the cabin and the village? Neither of us can drive a carriage, and I can imagine your family doesn't want us just holding on to theirs. Oh, I'm going to be driving you. I can take you back and forth between the two and help you navigate the woods. You didn't expect me to just let you wander around the forest in the middle of nowhere without a guide, did you? Tara was slowly making her way towards the carriage. She does her best to give a look of excitement. If anything, it resembles the look of a panicked hostage. The fact that she's trying to play it cool is almost admirable in its futility. Okay, she really doesn't look okay. God damn it, Tara. You're sure that's not any trouble? I'd hate to inconvenience you any more than we already have. It's no trouble. I just run my own shop, so my schedule is pretty flexible. I'm more than happy to help. She looks over at Tara, who has finally made it within a few feet of the carriage. She shoots us both a thumbs up. I have a feeling she might need it. Trust me, you have no idea. God damn it, Tara. Oh, there we go. Morgan turns and deftly swings up into her seat, taking a hold of the reins. Tara finally managed to place her hands on the carriage and climb up and sit alongside her. Shaking all the way, I let out a sigh of relief and follow suit, mounting up next to her. It's a little cramped up here, but I'd feel weird just sitting by myself. Besides, not keeping an eye on Tara is pretty guaranteed way to make an even worse first impression. So, can you do any tricks in this thing? What? Why would you even do tricks in the... Okay. The path to the cabins turns out to be a complicated one. We've been making twists and turns through the trees for a few minutes, but Morgan seems to know exactly where she's going. Not even the dark can stand in her way. You can navigate through all this with just a little lantern? How can you see the landmarks? Don't worry, I know these woods better than just about anything. Besides, the moonlight is more than enough for me. I can't help but feel embarrassed as I think about all the times I had to use the flashlight of my phone just to find something I dropped in the car. I definitely wouldn't last out here. Looking over, I can see that Tara is anxious to start asking Morgan a very long list of questions about the woods. After that flubbed introduction, she is clearly a little less gung-ho than usual, but I know that won't stop her. As such, I should probably get my handling of the actual adult stuff out of the way quickly before it gets lost in the noise. Okay, so, the cabin we're going to be staying at, what's the situation as far as modern amenities go? Don't worry, it's nothing too primitive. My family owns it, so they've kept it up. But we don't really use it anymore. It got running water, heat, electricity, the works, internet too. At least when the weather's feeling cooperative. I should warn you right now that you're probably not going to have much luck with your cell phone. Reception out here is pretty much non-existent. There is a landline in the cabin though, and I'll leave my number so you can reach me in a case of an emergency. That's perfect, thanks. Thank God, I was terrified that we might have been walking into some sort of dilapidated death trap. So, while we're on our way, could you maybe tell us about some of the specific supernatural occurrences you've seen out here so far? I gently elbow her in the stomach as a gesture that I hope effectively communicates let me talk about the actual important stuff first. However, Morgan doesn't so much as flinch at the question. If anything, she actually seems a little excited to talk about it. Her eyes seem to lose a bit of their constant drowsiness, and she sits up perfectly straight. She's been waiting for this. Well, we have a lot of freak weather events, strange storms that appear and disappear, or are localized to certain parts of the forest in ways that shouldn't be possible. Tara nods pensively, ready to start pressing for details. I realize my questions are going to have to wait, so I decide to just let the two of them run their course. Sometimes when I walk in the woods, I can see strange lights here and there, like tiny little stars inside the forest. I've never been able to get close to them though. I raise my eyebrow but don't say anything. We've had countless cases of strange lights before, all of which have ended up with rational explanation. That doesn't seem to damper Tara's spirits though. I can feel myself starting to drift. The steady, mild bumping sensation of the carriage combined with the exhaustion of the journey threatening to make me fall asleep right here and now. I'm sure they can wake me when we get there. There's also my cat. What? Your cat is a supernatural occurrence? She can talk, so I would say so. What the fuck? Her words snap me out of my trance. Looking over at her, I expect to see her holding in a laugh or sporting some kind of mischievous grin, but her face is as serious as it's been since we arrived. Your cat can talk? Like the human does? Yes, she's very well spoken in fact. I tried to hide the sight. I should have known she was going to be one of those fans. Some people who invite us out tend to be a little strange. It happened plenty of times. And while this meeting is definitely more unique than any previous one, I'm not too shocked by it. Tara, however, instantly perks up once her words sink in. She can't actually believe her, right? So, could we talk to her? She won't mind it if we ask her a few questions, right? Well, usually she only talks to me, but I can try to convince her. The whole thing is clearly some kind of a joke, but Tara is absolutely taken in. I can practically see the wheels turning in her head as she plans out her follow-up questions. That's never good. So, do you have any ideas what could have be causing it? Something in her diet, maybe? I don't think so. Have you been feeding her some kind of special Eisenfield cat food? Can I try some? Okay, I think that's enough of that. When Tara starts talking about eating cat food, it's time for me to exercise a little diplomacy and move the conversation forward. Crazy or not, I think we should move on. So, what kind of things does she talk to you about? Just about our lives, for the most part. I figured you'd be better off hearing it from her rather than me. I'm sure that will be illuminating. I'll say, if there's something that paranormal in the village itself, You must have seen way crazier stuff in the woods. She starts to gesture as she talks, pointing back and forth the village and swinging her arms around as she mentioned the woods. Morgan hitting her with something concrete has definitely put her back into her element. In a way, I suppose it has for me too. I couldn't get a read on her when we arrived, and now that I know she's probably crazy, I at least know what we're dealing with. Well, there's one pretty major thing, but you probably won't believe me. I wouldn't have come out here if I didn't believe you. Anything you have to say, I want to hear. I can't detect a hint of cynicism in her voice. Either she really believed this girl she just met and had a talking cat, or she's giving a performance worthy of an Oscar. Are you sure? 110% laid on me. She winks at her and flashes her finger guns back in celebrity mode. Tara's good at recovery with these things, but I've never seen her recover on this level with such speed. But as I watch her lean in towards Morgan to make sure she catches her next statement, I realize another possible reason for her passionate response. If there's one thing she loves more than hearing strange stories, it's trying to impress a cute girl. Now things are starting to fall into place a bit more. Well, one of the main reasons I called you out here is... I'm not sure if it has a name, but I think it's some kind of a forest spirit? Spirit? Like a ghost or something? No, something physical. Some sort of massive creature, like the forest came to life. Okay, this is new. Even the crazier fans don't get this outlandish. But Tara is absolutely eating it up. No matter what her reasoning is, I'm glad she's having a good time. It means I can stay out of this conversation. It's a lot harder to pretend to believe things when I'm this tired. Is there anything else you can tell me about it? Does it speak or anything? Have you managed to interact with it at all? Is it more kaiju sized? Or more basketball player sized? I've only seen it once, unfortunately, so I don't know too much about it. I've searched for it a number of times since, but without any results. Who knows? Maybe you two will have better luck than I have. That's what you're best at, right, isn't it? In terms of talents, I say it's certainly up there. Morgan's mouth turns up into a small but seemingly genuine smile, and her expression grows slightly less intimidating. I knew you'd believe me. Nobody else around here does. I can't imagine why. I feel a pang of guilt as that thought crosses my mind. As crazy as her story sounds, it can't possibly be easy feeling rejected in a community this isolated. No wonder she was so eager to bring us into the fold. So, how far away would you say we are from this cabin? We should be coming up on it any minute now. I'll help the two of you get situated and then head back. I'll be happy to tell you more about the spirit tomorrow. Thank God. Oh, yeah, great. That's great. I'm exhausted. That much isn't a lie. All I want to do right now is pass out. With any luck, I'll wake up to find out that this whole thing was just a bad dream. Damn, Maddie really isn't having a good time. She really isn't. What's happening now? Oh, okay, alright. Oh, I guess we're back to guide you through the time skip. And here I thought we decided we weren't going to make this game about time travel. What the fuck? Okay. Given that we never previewed it back when it was about time travel in the first place, I'm sure that joke isn't going to be funny to anyone except our writers. This scene takes place a little further on in the game, after we've been in Eisenfeld for a few days, and surprisingly, we haven't had much luck. The only thing out of the ordinary we've encountered so far is our host. She has arranged for us to meet her in the woods near the cabin. I'm about 80% sure we're going to get murdered. You're way too harsh, Mads. I think Morgan's pretty neat. A little weird, sure, but she seems like her heart's in the right place. That's suspiciously sincere for you to say. Not to mention the fact that she's super hot. Oh, okay, I knew it. Despite very clear warnings from other villagers that Morgan is dangerous, Tara is determined to meet her anyway. I'm going to, but I'm not happy about it. Alright, I wish I had Tara's energy, that way I could just go on and on, but I don't, so well, I gotta end this video here. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. If you actually enjoyed the video, give it a like, don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and as always, I hope to see you again.